This is a Milne Road Studios production. Part of the White Magic with Mr. Sonny Lurr.
Here I am. Hello.
Hey, buddy. A double one.
He's rolling.
Hello, Mr. Sonny Lurr. How
Hello.
are you, my man?
I'm good. Very good.
We're on the Saturday edition this week. We had a 2-hour, 47-minute bender last night
Wow.
with Gavin Shawn, and Mr. Sonny Lurm's just helped me get that up onto YouTube, and she is loading as we're talking.
Up and away.
This is the Guinness edition.
The Guinness.
We're within 7 days of exiting Adelaide and heading over to the Europe tour. So Mr. Sonny has brought the Guinnesses.
Yep, I've got 2 cans for us, which we had just before this, and
A matching glass for you.
matching glass. Yeah, what'd you think of it? Pretty good.
The crowd is cheering. I think they all got a bottle each.
He likes it.
What's been going on, Sonny?
Same old.
It's been a windy week, hasn't it?
It's been windy. We've been belted.
It's been blowing like a honeymooner's brick, hasn't
And
it?
you know me, I've got this thing with my eye that just waters all the time. So with the wind, she just pours.
Was it
pours
still
down.
fairly watery this week?
Yes. Yep. Maybe not from the wind, maybe just from the work or the tears.
Just remember, if you get secluded somewhere, you can survive on the water coming out of your eyes. So you'll be safe wherever you go.
Yeah. Nah. it's all good.
Man, what a week. What a week. I've had Harley all week. Bless his heart. Good on you, Harley, man. We got a fair bit done this week. Boy, oh boy, it's hard work at the moment, isn't it? We're going back to everything 3 times again, and
It's almost like it's normal.
it might be the new normal.
That's it.
Since COVID,
That's
I
it.
think we seem to do every job 3 times.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a chore at the moment. But,
I think of it as something we usually do. I don't expect to go to one job once.
You've been with the Barch this week?
Been with the Barch
The
all
the
week.
Bush
Yes.
Ranger?
That's it. And
Barchy, how are you, mate? You're on the you're on the
shout
Friday night edition as
big
well.
shout out to Barchy. That's always convincing me to do more work than what we should.
He's got the 3 o'clock syndrome, hasn't he? He does love the quality.
Yeah, when it becomes 3 o'clock, 3:30, I say that's it. I've had enough.
Good on you, Mr. Barch. You are the man. You are the future, and we love you to death. So
Yeah. So Thursday, I think he would have gotten home about 6:30. That's your fault, mate. We could have gotten home earlier.
I think I had Gav here last night, and he said he got home at 10 o'clock 3 times:
Wow.
Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Unreal.
He does panel refinishing on cars.
Yeah.
So that drags him around and about, and yeah.
That's good.
So
Yeah. And the 30th was yesterday, and that
That's
was
correct.
my 10-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you and
Thank you very
Lisa.
much to my beautiful
What did you get
wife,
up to
Lisa.
yesterday?
We
Tell
went
us all
to,
about it.
Well, I had booked she said, I'm going to leave it up to you. You book whatever you want to book. So I booked the Koso, I think it is. It's a Korean barbecue or something at Tea Tree Plaza. She wasn't too fond of that. She didn't really want to do something like that. We went to a restaurant in the city called Fugazi.
Mr. Fugazi.
What a beautiful restaurant that was.
What is it?
Unreal.
What time?
I think it's Italian or something like that. Not,
Does sort of sound it. I just,
but it is amazing. We went there. We usually go there and just get the steak or something like that. But they had a 5-course
on the hot fire.
Oh, they cook it and they chop. You know you've gone to a fancy restaurant when they cut up the steaks for you and they still supply the knife. So we went there. We were going to get the steaks, but we ended up getting the 5-course meal, which was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So they say, grazie, Mr. Sonny.
Yeah, and they all said, welcome, you lovely couple, and congratulations and happy anniversary. Everyone that sort of served
what was
us.
it? 15 years or 10 years?
10 years.
10 years.
10 years married, 15 together. So it's been a lovely 15 years.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. there's a lot of
That's
of ups with it.
3,650 days.
Yeah, and I love her more every single day. You know, she's
You get
been
to
great.
love them more, don't you?
Mm.
Hey?
Yeah, even though nowadays we just sit on either end of the couch and just I'll watch my telly, she's on her phone, or I'm on my phone, she's on the telly. So, but not being together still maybe.
Well, that's good. You haven't got an office outside yet, so
Well, once I do, that's where I am. But no, it was good. Good lunch. That was a lunch. Then we went over to the Korean barbecue for the dinner, which was quite good. You had to cook your own food. It comes up raw, like raw meat. You can get a steak and whatever. Yeah, it sort of sizzles right in front of you. But although it is quite smoky and smelly, because that's all you can smell. But I'm used to that kind of stuff, where she wasn't. So she was just like, oh, now my hair smells like smoke, my clothes smells like smoke,
Oh,
everything.
darling.
So
Come on, Lisa.
I said, take it easy. I'm taking you out. But no, that was good. And then we just went home, watched something on the telly, and that was it. So not much.
And the Paralympians have started, I believe it.
Yeah, the Paralympians have started. I watched a few little snippets of it, and it's just the funny stuff, because there is a lot of funny little snippets on the go with. I won't go too much about it. Might start to, upset a few people on it, but
We don't want to go there, do we?
no. But get around them, because it's actually quite good to see them play with a leg or
Half
an
a
arm
bat.
missing.
Yeah,
that's it.
they
Now,
are incredible.
Speaking of that, I will say I watched a little bit of the table tennis, and they had I think it was a Chinese guy with a Greek or something like that, and he kept serving it. So then the ball bounces so close to the net, and because they're so far on the wheelchair, they can't reach over. So he's just won that point completely. So he's got it all sorted. He's won. That's what he's done. Unreal, isn't it?
Sounds good. Yeah. No,
But that was a little bit of a funny thing that I watched as well. So, what about you, mate? You been on the Olympics at all?
not at all. I haven't had a chance to do that one yet, but I've got a little bit of feedback coming through here for some reason. I don't know why as well. I've got a glitch week going on.
Yeah, right.
So I
Prepare
don't know.
for landing.
Can you hear it or not?
I can't hear anything that's coming through.
It's almost like a bit of a hiss, but that's all right. We'll keep going. We'll keep going at the moment.
Oh.
So
All good.
I went out this morning and measured up a bit of a broken window for one of my buddies over at Greenwith there this morning, and Mandy's done 3 night shifts in a row. She's got the Sunday nighter tomorrow night as well. So yeah, that's
Very good.
That's pretty good. So
Nice, easy. You've got nice, easy week.
that's
Nice,
it.
easy weekend.
We're just winding down the clock now to get on that guitar and.
Speaking of the guitar, I've been jumping back on it. I've been trying a few strums, just so we can get out in the fire pit and I can play a little bit of music for people.
All right, that's good.
But yeah, it hasn't been too interesting.
Oh well, it's takes a little bit of time to get it
does.
back.
My fingers are hurting.
They do sting, don't they? Is it a metal string or vinyl?
Metal string. So
that'll tear you apart, I reckon.
yeah, when you put your hands in warm water, they
Yep.
just sting. They hurt.
I reckon so.
But it takes time, mate.
No, that's what it's all about. I was watching the US Open before the Aussie Alexei Popyrin was playing Novak Djokovic.
Djokovic, he's still going.
6-4, 6-4, 2-6, 6-4. Aussie into the quarters. So old Lele was there as well, so that was good to see him. Wow. Goodbye, Novak Djokovic. He's gone. So good to have, I think there's 2 Aussies left. There's another Aussie bloke in the males draw still left. So that's what it's about.
Yeah, it's a young bloke, was it? A young
Yes.
young fella?
Yeah, I think it's his first time he's ever got right through to where he is now.
Wow.
But yeah, real, a little bit crazy. So,
Yeah, good stuff.
so
Good stuff to the Aussies.
So what else has been going on this week, man?
All right, so I have watched a documentary,
Yes.
and It's a doco called An Unknown Compelling Force, right? And it's about the
Yep.
the 9 Soviet killers, well, hikers that died in 1959.
Tell us all about it.
All right. So
Let's go.
the 9 hikers, they were hiking in Russia, and it was and they were reaching a mountain. I think the mountain was called the Death Mountain.
I reckon that's what you said before.
Yeah,
It's all right. I've got rid of that hiss, so I'm back
So you're
concentrating.
back on. All right. So
Look, get your ass up here. We need a producer.
So it's a mystery at the moment, and it's still a mystery on how they died. Right. So they found the bodies. So what they had done, they hiked towards Death Mountain, and
We're talking
just
1959 as well.
1959, yeah, January 23rd, I think they started. And
That's that date again, that early
they got
January.
to just before Death Mountain, I think, and the conditions were quite rough, so they decided to pitch a tent. And I don't think they pitched it in the right spot. They weren't high enough for an avalanche. They were just in the middle, I think. And then February the 20th, they hadn't heard anything from them. So from that point, then they decided to send a search party to go.
February 22nd is my wedding anniversary.
Well,
There you go.
these dates are long.
There's a link. There's a link to it.
So so they'd sent a search party, and they all had sticks, big long sticks, and they were poking them into the snow to see if they could find anything, and they did find bodies. So they first found, I think it was 2-3 bodies, and they were scattered in a line though, and realised that the bodies had little amount of clothing, no shoes, and I think one body was in his jocks still, which was strange.
He would have been cold.
He would have been cold, yeah. And they reckon you only last minutes out there in the cold. Don't last long. So
I think your appendage would be fairly skinny as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So they found all the hikers, and they all ended up dead. The coroner, they took them back. The coroner reckons that 6 died due to hypothermia. 2 of them to physical chest trauma, which is strange. Why would that person have
Impacts?
Anything?
Yeah.
One of them, I think, had fractured skull, and one of them was missing a tongue.
Maybe he said the wrong word.
Well, that could have been an animal or something. I think it was lips and a tongue as well. I mean, there's a lot of different stories, a lot of people researched it, so there's a lot of different theories as to what happened as well. So I'll go through the theories though with you. One of them is hypothermia, which explains why they didn't have a lot of clothing on. They would have taken them off, because when you get hypothermia,
You have a tendency of feeling overheated.
Yeah, so a lot of people with hypothermia that died through hypothermia ended up being found with no clothes on at all. So then they thought maybe someone's hurt them or something like that.
Be a horrible way to go. I think, as close to frostbite as you're talking there, that all the heat gets sucked away from all your limbs.
Yep.
To protect your organs.
That's the first thing that goes is your fingers.
Everything would go numb. Imagine how uncomfortable that'd be.
Yeah, absolutely. Then there was the avalanche as well. So they thought maybe it was an avalanche that they had seen before and tried to escape the avalanche.
Yes.
But that was debunked because the tent was still intact and there were still poles up. So if there was an avalanche, it would have just taken everything completely down, and the tent was still undisturbed inside. But they did say that the tent was cut from the inside out. So that's another strange thing that has happened.
Yeah.
That would probably lead to the infrasound. So the mountain has an infrasound, which gives us specific frequency that it can induce panic. So that may have happened, and then they would have, cut the tent from inside out and tried to run.
Yeah.
Or it could have been one of them was impacted by that and cut the tent, ran, and the rest went after him. So you just don't know, because it would be quite strange that everyone had the same feeling at the same time. So it would have had to be one. There was a military involvement in it. That's what people are saying as well, because it was close to the Russian military base. But I don't see why, unless they've seen something that they weren't supposed to. I don't know. The other one is the indigenous tribe called the Mansi people. So they could have gone in there and hacked these people to death because they're in their land, and it's guarded land.
Could be. They might not be welcome there.
The hikers were found to have scratches on the back of their hands and graze on their knuckles, as if they were maybe fighting away, defending themselves as well. There's a Yeti as well. So there's a photo that I showed you. So if you look up the Dyatlov Pass Yeti photo, you'll be able to see it as well. And my most favourite, aliens.
All right.
So the 3 bodies that were found, that's the furthest away, was 1,500 meters away.
So just under the old mile.
Yeah, which they said would take an hour to hike on a night like that. So, and you would only last a few minutes in the cold weather. So how would they reach that 1,500 meters spot without? They've got to be lifted by aliens somewhat, or they're running. But they said they would have tumbled as well, because it was sort of a downhill, so I'm not sure. But the aliens did it. I reckon it was. They do have a last photo in the... so one of the hikers were found with a camera. So they took all the negatives, and they found that the last photo was a picture of something that was bright. And I showed you that before, so it's a strange photo.
And it would have been an old Canon as well, mate.
An
would have
old
been
exposure.
A very old camera.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, that's the Dyatlov Pass, and the documentary is called An Unknown Compelling Force. So get around them.
1959 in the USSR.
Yeah, still a mystery.
Unreal, isn't it?
Unknown.
I'm sure there's quite a few out there.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, this week also we've had the Louis Elizondo book in the US, so we've finally got a little bit more trickling out of the US. So he was high up with the Pentagon. He was very, very involved with security in regards to making the US safe, and he's now gone out. He's really deemed now to be a bit of a whistleblower like David Grush. So
that's what we want, the whistleblowers.
He has released a book which has been certified by the government to say that he can speak about whatever's in the book there. And one of the stories he was talking about was the underwater submerged. That seems to be the more active area now, is underwater.
Yep.
And he was saying that there's no resistance to the water underwater.
Yeah.
So, unlike our boats get drag as they start to push through the water, what they're saying is that they pump a frequency through the outer skin, whatever this outer skin of whatever these UFO, UAP things are.
Right.
Once they put a frequency through it, and you touched base on frequency coming through the mountain just a little while ago in Russia in 1959, is that it puts a bubble around the vehicle. Now, if there's a bubble around the vehicle, it's inside the bubble. Therefore, it's not relevant to gravity.
Yep.
So these things are doing fucking 55 knots underwater.
And not feel
nothing.
Thing.
No resistance at all.
Yep.
So apparently they got footage now, because he was saying that there's heaps of footage. What they've shown us is nothing. But they're saying that they've got underwater footage of an oil rig size craft.
Wow.
Going past an oil rig, and it was bigger than that, and it was travelling at supersonic speeds.
Wow.
Underwater.
It is a fact that we know more about space than we do about the ocean.
Think so.
So that's where they'd be. we're looking in the wrong direction
I think so.
this whole time.
So I think they're underwater. I think there's a spot up in Alaska that there's a triangle up the top there in that Russian-American area where they both meet.
Yep.
There's a lot of stories up there. I think there's a lot of pilots see a lot of stuff up there that they can't really work out. But no, it's
Yep. That's where I think we should be looking, in the water.
there's more and more coming through. They must have brilliant sensors underneath there as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think the water is a lot more dangerous than in space. You reckon?
I think so.
I mean, you can outlast a sort of in space for a little longer than you can in the water, I suppose. But the water is a scary thing. I mean,
It's very
you
deep.
get crushed, very deep, very cold. Why is it cold down there? Aren't we supposed to be?
It's not getting enough light either, is it? So
Yeah, but it's close to the Earth's core, and the Earth's core is meant to be warm.
it is.
You know?
It
So
is.
that's a mystery in itself. Maybe
Well,
the Earth is flat. Maybe there is
I
no
don't,
Earth's
I don't
core.
reckon it's flat. I don't reckon.
maybe there is no core,
You can't convince me that it's flat.
and there's no lava. There's no lava in the Earth's core.
But they're saying the strongest life form on Earth is actually bacteria.
Yep.
That it can live in the dark underwater. It can live in that coldness and the pressure on top of it, that it doesn't crush it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I believe the bacteria has the building blocks of everything else on this planet. So it's pretty cool, isn't it? The more you dig into it.
Yeah.
And I haven't got his book yet. It is released now on Amazon and other places and that. And I really want to have a good read of it.
That'd be good.
And
Be interesting to read.
just see how much stuff. The other one, I did a job during the week for a local builder, and I met his offshoot this week. It was these guys were flushing all the plasterboard and that
Yep.
on the inside of the house, and he said, "Hey, how you going, Ash? How's the podcast going?" I said, "I got the Mr. Sunny Lerm on Saturday," and he said, "Oh, that's going good." I said, "Yeah, that's going real well."
Yeah.
And his mate come up and he said, "Podcast, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, paranormal, UAP, UFO sort of stuff." And he said, "I got a story for you, Ash." He said, "My first wife used to fuck around with a Ouija board." And I went, "Ooh, stay away, stay away." I said, "I'm not going near Ouija boards." And he said, "Well, it's not a funny story. It's a very sad story, but they were fucking around with the Ouija board, and they had a glass turned upside down as the what's it called, the pucket to plunge it,
The thing that they put their fingers on that moves.
and they took
Yep.
their hands off the board altogether,
Get out.
and the glass went all the way over to her, and she died. She died
No way.
3 years later.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
there wasn't. I don't know if she was sick, or I
That
don't
could
even know
be
how
a
they relate
big
to it.
coincidence, but also, what a strange
So
coincidence it
yeah,
is.
so she died. She died. You know, she didn't die that night or a week later. So it's, you know, I can't guarantee you or
Yeah,
that it
yeah.
was to do with that. But he said it was strange.
Did-
But to see it move, and there were
Anything-
other people.
Did he say anything she died from, or
Yeah.
you know,
No, look, he didn't say it was an illness or anything. So
it could have been something out of nowhere.
could have been nothing.
That's-
Could have
that's-
been nothing
That's the
related to.
mystery.
But he said, yeah, Ouija board. I said, don't go there. Don't go there again.
The Ouija board is a look. It would be interesting.
If you don't shut it down, you're in a world of hurt.
It would be interesting to grab a Ouija board and just see, me look at you in the eye and say, I'm not going to move this thing. You're not going to move this thing. If this thing moves, we're fucking on.
Scary.
Scary, but we're not going to do it because
I don't reckon.
we believe in that kind of stuff, and you shouldn't mess around with something you're unfamiliar with.
Lisa did it, didn't she?
She did, yeah. She did.
And
And
she's
it's-
got paranormal
And it's
stories.
still good. She's
coming
got,
out her butt.
Yeah, she's, she's just full of them.
She's goddamn scary, that girl.
Yeah, it proves that, messing around with this Ouija board, it definitely attaches itself to you, or whatever did when you opened it has attached itself to you, and you're stuck with it for the rest of your life. You know?
Quite possible.
Yeah, we were. It was a while back, and me and the bush ranger, we were listening to a podcast, and he really doesn't listen to any podcast. So I said, just have a listen to this one. It's called that Outer World podcast, right?
Otherworld
Otherworld, that's
with
the
Jack
one.
Wagner.
Yeah, Otherworld. And I said, I'll just play this one, and it was called The Gin, right? And I thought, oh, right, The Gin, that's something good. That might be something pretty good. So we were listening, and this guy was talking about the gin, and I'm not sure which culture it was. I think it's like an Islam culture, right? So you're not supposed to talk about the gin. You're not supposed to even think about the gin, or even write it down or anything like that. You're not meant to do anything with the gin, otherwise it can get you, right? And he was obviously curious, and he goes, you know what, I'm going to search, I'm going to research, I'm going to ask. Oof,
Saturday,
that sounds
baby.
right. He goes, I'm going to ask a heap of questions. He asked his parents, asked his relatives, and they all said, stay away from it. Don't go anywhere near it. And this gin is meant to do things to you, unworldly things to you.
So what happened?
What happened was one day he went to bed, right, and he felt this big hand roll up his leg onto his crotch, right, and he felt quite embarrassed. He said, I barred up. He said, I barred up a little bit.
I reckon I remember this one.
You
Keep going.
remember?
Yeah.
And he said, this thing whacked me off at night, and he felt like it was a huge hand. And Barchi looks at me and he says, what did you get us listening to? I said, I didn't know that this was going to come on. So the first podcast you listened to in Other Worlds was about a gin whacking off a dude. So he started talking about the gin. And I said, hey, that's enough, mate. Stay away from the gin.
You don't want him in your life.
And we left it at that.
They've got some crazy stories on there,
Yeah.
though, haven't they? I remember one of the early ones. There were two young blokes. They had a construction company in the bush and in the forest. It's in the US somewhere or Canada like that. And the boys were out, and they were sort of the early days of fire prevention. That fires broke out. They were there early enough to try to get them put out.
Yeah.
And then one of the dads, because one son each had a father that was working in the business, and over the radio come and said, boys, quick, get out of there. There's a fairly decent storm about to come through. And he remembers getting on the quaddie with the other boy. And this guy was fanging it. He was going hard. And he said, hey, just lighten up. We're going to fucking have a crash. And, of course, there's a tree down. They've hit a branch. They've flipped it. When he's woken up, he's not in that scene anymore. It's all daytime. It's all nothing. And, he's woke up and he thought, fucking hell, where am I? And, of course, the guy's having a piss in the bushes. And he said, hey, Tony, where are you, man? What's going on? He said, what do you mean what's going on? I'm just going for a piss. I told you that 5 minutes ago, Crazy shit. And that's gone from one sphere to another one.
Yeah.
And there was no history of it. There was nothing of it. And I think there was still radio times or something a bit kooky on the two ways.
Yep.
And, he couldn't put it to bed.
Wow.
Couldn't prove it either
Mystery.
way. But he remembers looking up, coming off the motorbike, hits his head on the ground, wakes up, and he's in a different sphere altogether.
Yeah. Different universe.
Then there was the other one with the mother and the girls, and there were things appearing into the room out of nowhere. And then on their mobile phones, there'd be all this chatter that sort of comes through, a bit Swahili, not real clear.
Yeah.
And there was some sort of connection to some other different life. And it was causing them to go down into the water, and they were trying to draw the girls out and get them in. The water was in their abdomen level, and they never went any deeper so that they didn't get dragged out or whatever.
Yeah.
But looked up at the house, and there was this big figure standing in the house there. And there's so much fucking stuff out there.
There is.
It's a bit like the UFO door. The UFO, the Pandora's box is well spread now. Like, she's open.
Yep.
Because this UFO UAP thing, the American government really has, in one way, without saying it, there's something going on around our bases that we can't disprove. They're not Chinese, they're not Russian, they're not Israeli. Who the fuck owns them? You know, are the orbs almost like an eye that goes out? You know, the red orbs that aren't real big. Are they almost like an eye for the beings
Just
back
to
here,
watch,
and they can see what's going on and say, "Hey, we better go."
Yeah. And they just quickly just transfer themselves from one little spot to the other.
But you imagine going underwater without any resistance to the water. It's unreal, isn't it? It's hard to put your head around.
No. And that's the power of frequency.
And you've
isn't
got people talking from the Pentagon, ex-people that are, well, what the fuck would you make up?
Yeah, that's how they. I think that's how they said that might be how the pyramids were built. Moving those granite stones was through frequency. So vibration would have moved these stones quite easily if you had the perfect frequency. Yeah,
84.6. Something in it. There's something
something to move an object.
But you've got your frequencies now that you can listen to on your phone. You can go onto there and get binaural beats.
And it does sort of change your mindset, doesn't it? Yeah. Things that can't... Oh, I'm feeling a bit calm now.
I'm getting a hard on. Lucky Barchie's not here. We wouldn't be able to sit in the room.
No. But yeah, the frequency. That's a big thing. You know that there's videos that are around where the guy puts salt on a flat piece of metal and he puts a speaker underneath it, and then he plays a frequency and it makes a shape, you know, a nice symmetrical shape of something. So sound does do something and it changes things, which is probably how the Earth became a sphere, is through sound of the universe. So
have they found bacteria on Mars yet?
Well, they reckon that we are the aliens that we create the craft, we send it to Mars, that craft has our bacteria from Earth, and now that bacteria lives in Mars. So that alien is really us.
Could be. Might go full circle, huh?
Yeah, might go full. And then years and years, billions of years down the track, it then starts to perform an animal, a creature, and then so forth, and humans from there. And then we're wondering what's going on Earth.
I don't know. There's too much water. There's only
It's all a bunch of questions, really.
5%
unanswered questions.
of the oceans have really been surveyed anyway.
Yeah, and how deep is the ocean, really?
How deep is your love?
That's it.
We had Reese down last weekend.
Yes, you did. Yep.
We had Reese and Debbie and Alex and David. How you going, the Sunshiners? They're
up in the Sunshine Coast.
They're up on the Sunshine Coast there, around
Lovely.
Maroochydore. That's not the area that's the sort of area they're in. There's another name for the town they're in. And
so they had come down here?
Yeah, they come down Thursday. So we had them Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. So we went into the have you been into the Casino Soul Bar right up the top?
No.
And it looks back out over Adelaide Oval.
Yeah.
It's all outdoor. It's beautiful.
Is it new? Is it?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
And that was awesome. You know, it's all got open gas fires with glass around it.
Yep.
And yeah, man, there were so many people up there. It was awesome. You know, we were lucky enough to get a table, and you know, we got a few beers each, a couple of big drinks, and no, it's excellent. It was so
it's
good.
excellent to have them, you know, come down here.
So it was good to see him. Yeah, it was great. You know, David loves it. You know, he's just up all the time.
Where's he from? Is he from?
They're from Chile.
Chile. Yeah, I noticed an accent when I was listening to the podcast.
They sound very sexy. They are very, very.
It was quite a
smooth,
smooth language that he was speaking. It was.
He sounds like Antonio Banderas.
It's a very beautiful.
Yeah. So and Alex, she sounds beautiful as well. She sounds very sexy.
Yeah.
So no, it's wonderful to meet them, and you know, it's a new chapter in Manny and I's lives as you know, Debbie's on the scene, and they met in Whistler. Black came there, and you know, it's excellent. You know, all you ever wish for is that your kids are happy, and we're lucky enough that that's happened. So it's been wonderful to have them here, and we can't wait to get up to the Sunshine Coast and have a bit of fun up there in the nice 28
It'd be good weather.
degrees.
It'd
And
definitely be good weather up there. So no.
I haven't been up there since 1988. I think we worked out.
Oh,
The old, we went up there for Brisbane, had a World Expo up there in 88. We went up with Joan and Bob, Mandy's mum and dad back then, and 88, 98, 08, 18, that's 36 years or something.
yeah. Wow.
Long time.
Way long time.
But no, it was good. It was good to see them, and then next Monday, not this Monday, the Monday week, we take off for the Europe trip, and we'll go and see daughter Caitlin and Andy Smith, and trying to make some more stories over there. So that'll be a lot to talk about when I get back.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait for you to come back and hear all the stories.
So we land in Rome first. Rome's the first port of call, and we got 2 days there in Rome, and then I think I heard on the news too that there's some fucking bacteria broke out, some fucking bird virus or some bird strain that's now there, Indonesia and South America, I think. So it's all breaking out. So if the Aussie dollar doesn't get smashed, you get a fucking bird flu or something. So
here we are again.
But that's
always something.
All you can do. But it's hard to think it's September 11 again in a couple of days' time, and that's now been 23 years.
Yeah, there's
since
a lot
the
of videos.
World Trade Center come down. So
yeah, it's always hard to watch the videos of people that recorded through a distance as well, and they're just recording what's going on, and then all of a sudden a plane comes in and smashes right into it.
Oh my God!
No, definitely painful to watch.
In the
Quite sad.
Each tower has a bathtub down the bottom, as you're probably aware, and underneath the bathtub they have a memorial for Tower 1 and Tower 2.
Yeah.
And in the background on the speakers going around there is all the live all the live mobile phones that were taken, and all these people were deceased now.
Yeah.
That's quite haunting, as an experience. It wasn't a nice experience.
Hearing the voices of the deceased. And
because their buildings are so far underground as well, they're lower than the Hudson River and the East River there. So they have to dam off all the walls. So when they build a building, they actually have to drill back into the core and tie the wall from collapsing with the weight of the river there. So when you go down there, a lot of it's quite open because you've just got the footprint underneath the bathtub where they got solid steel as the base plate before they started to erect and go up. So there's a lot of open, and you can see all these damn walls that are like...
Did they end up rebuilding that?
30, 40 metres high.
They rebuild those buildings?
Yeah. One. Well, the 2 towers were never built on again. Of course, it was just a bathtub put on each one of those ones.
Yep.
And then I think there's 6 World Trade Center buildings that are all different heights there.
Yeah.
So they've built the Freedom Tower, which is the one to replace the 2. That's 102 stories.
Yeah.
And that's that one where you can see it tapers up as it goes up to the top, and then it's got a big antenna on top there. And then you've got ones that are gradually smaller and smaller and smaller, but they're still high. They're still 60 stories or...
Still incredible. Yeah.
So, and that's right down in the business district. That's right down on the toe of Manhattan.
Yeah.
So you got the Hudson River that sort of comes around, and then it turns around to the East River and goes back up towards Queens, JFK on that side. And then you've got New Jersey, Jersey City. That's on the other side. That's on the Hudson River side. So, and they got so many tunnels underneath the water, and it's a crazy place. Crazy. I think there's, if I remember rightly, there was nearly 9 million people just live in Manhattan alone. So that's just the island. That's just the peninsula.
Wow.
So, you think, God, 8 to 9 million people just there. And then I think there's 20 million in the borough. So you got New Jersey, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx. So you've got all those, boroughs around.
Massive population.
Huge, 20 million.
What's Australia have?
24 million in Australia.
20
26 million in Australia.
Yeah, I think the last time I checked it was like 24 million.
So you're close.
So we're just one little city.
Close enough. Just that
Yeah.
one sound. They got 52 states, haven't
Wow.
they? So yeah, there's another 51 of them
Yep,
somewhere
yep.
else.
Fucking huge amount of people living in one
So-
area. That's the concrete jungle.
Unbelievable. And it seems to move quite well. If you look at the underground, it's so old.
Yeah.
It's over 100 years old. And, you know, if you go to Sydney or something like that, you go on their underground, it's smooth. You know, the carriages don't roll. In America, it's
Yeah. Really rough.
yeah, you're going in. Come on, man, hurry up, you know. But beautiful. You got all the old silver trains, and they all got American flag on each one.
Yep.
And, you know, number 103 and 105. And
It'd be beautiful to go there and actually have a look and see what. I mean, they live different lives than us here in Australia, so it'd be interesting to see how they live there and what they do compared to what we do.
certainly
here,
the East Coast is different to the West Coast. West Coast, California, they're a whole lot more relaxed.
country.
And you can hear the accents in if let's say you're in New York and you hear someone from even New Jersey compared to New York. New York's a real tang. It's a real hard. You know, it's bang bang bang. Where if you look at the West Coast, it's all more like Australia.
Yeah.
Everyone's a bit more loose and a bit, hey, how you going, dude? You know, like. But the Yankees more, the East Coast more business orientated. So everyone dresses in black. It's pretty
real formal, real presentable with suits and whatnot.
And look, they got whacked, didn't they? 2001.
Yeah.
You know, when the towers come down, and they got fucking smashed up. And like, you know, I still remember I was fitting shower screens back then. I still remember I was in Maylands that day, and it came on in someone's house, and I went, "Oh my God, what is that?" And I remember ringing my parents up. They were down at Middleton still, and I said, "Turn your telly on. There's something real bad happening in America." And you know, we'd been there in '84, but I hadn't been to New York. We were in LA and on the West Coast there, and but to see that, whew,
I think I was at home.
terrible.
I was only a young lad, you know, and Mum had news on because it was on every station, every channel, and she was just going, "What's going on?" And we were thinking, "What's going on here? This is unbelievable."
It was unbelievable to see the footage, wasn't it?
Yeah, live footage as well.
But you think, you know, that was 2001. What are we now? 2024.
Yep.
That's 22, 23 years ago. That's
How
unbelievable.
did they pull that off?
I don't know.
You know,
Once again, how did the president get shot?
how did he not get shot?
How did he? How did they miss?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, there's a lot of conspiracies towards everything that sort of comes up.
Did you see JFK Jr. has a line now with Trumpy?
Does he?
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I look, Bobby's good. I like him, but you know, if you listen to his voice, he's taken something that's hacked his voice up to death. So, but he's a lawyer, so he's very knowledgeable. Talks a lot of truth. You know, you know, Americans seem to sue all the time. You know, you know, sue.
They'll sue their parents if they could.
I'd say so. They eat a lot
For
of
a bit
food.
of money.
They eat a hell of a lot of food.
Oh, it's good food. It's good food. I was talking to Brennan, the
Where's he from? He's from
Colorado. Yeah, and I said, "Oh,
Denver, Colorado.
so what do you miss about America?" And he said, "Oh, they don't have a lot of slow cooked food around here. You know, it's low and slow, ribs and brisket and everything like that. No, we don't have it here." I said, "There's a carnivore. It's called Carnivore on Henley,
Okay.
and they do meat and everything like that." So I said, "Why don't you go there and have a look and see what you can maybe bring you back home, you know, for a
How
quick
old is he?
second." He's young. He's young. He's here.
20s, early 20s?
Yeah. So, but he's done a lot. So it'd be nice to have him come here for a little yarn about what he's been, because he's traveling, and then I think his next stop is in Brazil or something like that.
Oh, go back with Vinny.
That's it.
We could get I did try to get Vinny here, and he said, it's very hard to talk very clear, very clean. I said, look, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to put you on the spot, you know.
Yeah,
like,
it's all a bit of fun.
but when we did go up to towards Pinaroo, Lamoureux that day, I said to the boys, because Vinny and Brennan was up there, and I said, look, if you want to do a podcast, it'd be cool to have a Brazilian and a guy from Colorado.
Yeah.
So I'd still like to get him on here.
Absolutely, because he's got the 6-month visa, working visa. So I don't know how long he said he was going to stay. I think probably towards maybe
Christmas.
January, he said, something like that. Maybe February. But he has to get another job. So he can't work in the same mob for 6 months at a time. So he has to go 6
Did
months
JJ pick
here,
him
6
up, or
months there.
where'd he
I'm
come
not
from?
sure where he came from, but he only has 6 months to work where
he's probably
we
used up 3 months already.
Yeah,
I
so
suppose.
he doesn't have long to go, so he's going to find somewhere else that he can work. And then after that, I think he's going to move on. So we better get him on before
We'll get
he
him up
goes.
here. Yeah, we'll get him on one of ours.
Look, he's got a nice, interesting voice as well, and very smooth and sexual. But he's getting into
Very
our,
well.
yeah. Look, he's given us a lot of shit. He's given it back to us.
Is he?
As much as we give it to
That's
him.
good.
But when we first met him, we were giving it to him, and he was quite shy. But now he's right with it with us.
He said, "Listen here, kangaroo boy, you're gonna cop it."
That's it. He said, I might hang around and do some breakdancing because you guys are pretty good at it. I said, whoa, he's having a go.
We're gonna drive around. Just change the subject again. We're gonna drive around Ireland with Caitlin and Andy.
Yep.
We got about 5 days there, so we're gonna fly from Heathrow to Dublin. And then Dublin, we get a car and we go straight across to the other side. So you're on the western side of Ireland there, that's sort of looking towards New York, Boston way, you know.
Yeah.
And then we go straight up to the Northwest Cape, which is pretty well the end of, you got Iceland up higher, but we might be lucky enough that you might start to see some of the northern lights being so high up.
Yep.
So that'll be pretty cool. And then we'll come round to Belfast. So we've got to go into Belfast and have a Guinness in there. And I think there is a Guinness distillery. There's one in York, which is right down the bottom. We're not going down there because we haven't got enough time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the whiskey. What's the whiskey called over there? Green bottle?
Jameson's. Jameson's, yep.
So either Jameson's or in Cork or whatever, but there's a distillery. There's a brewery over there with the Guinness.
Yep.
So we must go to Belfast.
And I think they just go down to the cellar, pick up the Guinness, and that's it. They don't have it in a nice cold.
At least I'm pro now. I've had one, haven't I? One pint.
Oh, you've had one, yeah. They reckon they fill it right up to you, right? Right up here. And then your first sip should cut the G. So it should be halfway through.
Is that
the G.
right?
That's.
Where'd you get this from?
I've got this from the Gov. So we went out one night, and I drink a lot of stout myself.
I love glasses.
Yeah, and we stopped at the Gov, me and Lisa, and I asked.
That's Locke's haunt there, I think.
Yeah. And I asked for the Guinness, and they brought me this cup, and I said to Lisa, "I'm taking this home." So I
wonder how many glasses the pubs lose a year.
I don't know, but I chugged it, and
Reese was always
stayed
good
in
at
my
finding
back
them.
pocket all night. Stayed in my back pocket. I didn't even drop it or anything like that. What a gem this thing is.
I remember going up the snow and we were drinking shooters up there. We had the glass ones,
Yep.
the little ones like that. I walked out with 14. Chink, chink, chink,
Yep,
chink.
straight in the pocket.
Fuck knows how I didn't get caught.
Yeah.
But, they all come home.
I've got a thing for glasses. I went to the
especially
Cooper's.
beer glasses. Good.
Yeah, I
beer
went to the
glasses are
Cooper's
good.
Ale House as well, and I've got myself a glass of Cooper's with a little logo there
Cross-check
on the
tools.
glass. Yeah. So it's
Prepare for landing.
for landing.
I think it's good. We should go down to the Coopers there and let me chase up the tops too. They must be due this week, the paranormal ones.
Yep.
So I'll go and see old Clarence down there at Ardo Print and he's done the quietly. Lisa's been given a shirt, hasn't she? Got one of the new Mill Road
The only
Studio
one.
pinkies.
The only one.
Hot pink, so wear it well, Lisa, and have some fun in that one. So,
Good.
but they Reese did all the designs for them.
Yeah.
They've come up really good, haven't they?
Beautiful design.
They're so
Incredible. Unreal, isn't it? I like it a lot.
It's
It's a nice little round. with a microphone.
I'm glad I got him because he keeps saving my ass all the time.
Yeah,
I just need to be the idiot talking on the machine. That's all.
that's what you need. Someone to just lay out all the other stuff while you just do the talking. You're
That's
good at it.
pretty cool, you know. Like you've got an IT guy straight away. Like Mandy's better on the phone than I am, but you know, if I've got to set something up on there, I might as well fucking talk Swahili because it'll ask you or it'll prompt you something and you'll go, what the fuck is it asking me? I don't know what it's fucking asking me. Where do you want to put it? Well, don't ask me where to put it. I don't know where I fucking want to put it.
Yeah.
Just sort
Just
it out.
no idea.
Just hit the button and just put it wherever you got
it. Upload it, and that's it.
So anyway, I did update the phone to go away with. So I've still got to sort out.
So that's a new phone that you have now.
I've still got to sort out the MP4 thing. So Mandy said, look, it was a couple of grand. She said, don't fuck around with it. I know what you and Sonny are like in the dust. You got concrete dust everywhere and, you know, you'll shit it up. So she got me a glass top for it and she got me a protector for the three cameras there.
Camera, no.
First day back, fucking old mate treads on it.
Yep, broken.
Broke the glass, luckily, and snapped the protector on the... So luckily none of the phone got damaged at all. But I thought, fuck, that's the best...
Look, imagine if you didn't have the protector
Best
there.
$50 I ever spent, you know, because I would have fucked it, and I'm notorious for putting them in toolboxes.
Yeah, I just got the new watch as well, and there's a crack on it already, but lucky I got a cover over it. There's a couple of scratches around it.
Is the crack in the cover?
It's the crack in the cover, yes.
So they're actually... It appears to be glass,
cover,
really tiny, thin glass
cover. So definitely saved it. And yeah, I've got a lot of grazes and scratches on there as well. So it's working. They do save it.
Cutting concrete, dude. That's half the battle, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was up on the roof on Thursday on a little step, and I was laying down trying to just drill into the bottom of the window. It was so difficult.
I went in and saw the commercial boys on Friday, and I grabbed Woody. Woody to the rescue! I grabbed Woody and I said, Woody, come over here for a minute. He's a good bloke. I like him. And I said, look, I need a template. I've got some 225 doors that have got the RP4 on it. And I need to locate the sill. I'm sick and tired of trying to fucking paint the end of the rod and
try and find it.
Push screws under there and then trying to lift the button up on your own. It's too hard. You got to do the top first and then the bottom, you know. So what we did was we cut 50 mil of the stile off, put the bracket in, riveted it where it goes. Yeah. So now we can put...
You just butt it up into the...
You open the door up now and just push it into the sill, drop it down.
Mark your hole.
So with your 400 series where you've got the sundial, you got top out and bottom out.
Yep.
So you know where that location is. Now, hopefully... They've put them in the right spot.
If they've put them in the right spot.
But I said, I'm not playing this game. I said, on a bench, it's easy. When you're kneeling in the mud and you're kneeling in dirty, wet stones and shit, everything, and you're getting all your knees fucked up with all the dirt, I said, it's hard enough kneeling down doing it, the bottom one. I said, but I'm not doing this anymore. Get a fucking template sorted out. It's 2024.
Yeah, I know.
Wake up.
And we're still putting paint on the rods.
No more. No more now. No fucking more.
Well, it's been a while since I've done one, so I don't know how they do it now.
Oh, me too. I haven't done any for a while, and I've had 5, 9, 10. I've had 11 in one day.
Yeah, that's when you start to think to yourself,
and you go,
I'm going to get something sorted.
Yeah, well, don't forget, they don't let the strikers in, so you're gonna mill the strikers into the jam. Yeah. So you might as well do that with a spinning disc now because it's heaps quicker. So, like, come on. It's 2024.
Yeah, so you do it with a spinning disc now.
I do now. Yeah? I used to drill it out.
I drill it out, and then Terry is telling me, there's got to be a better way.
Disc. You just got to be good with the disc. So, yeah. you just got to cut the steel. You just got to know what you're doing. So, but, once again, you mark it the normally way with your top tongue and your deadbolt throw and then, stick it out. Yeah, half a thou, and then just mark your vertical cuts.
That's what I showed the boys. You paint your top tongue. You open the handle so the tongue goes in. Push the door, then you just let go, and then it creates that mark, and you know exactly where you want to go. Otherwise, if you do too much, you can't. You have to slam the door for the tongue to engage. If you don't do enough, there's so much play in the door, and it won't seal properly. So
And you know the top tongue of that stainless steel is the equivalent to a bottle opener?
no. So you can use one of those to crack open.
It's almost identical to those ones I make.
Yeah, yeah.
So, if you're ever stuck,
If you're
you
stuck
need a
and you
bottle
don't have
opener,
one, yep, perfect.
it's fucking cool, isn't it?
Lovely.
How good's that?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh, well, I forgot to mention, I did go to a concert on at the Bridgeway. The guy was singing a cover for Luke Combs, a country singer, and it was pretty good, pretty spot on, and everyone was dressed up pretty good, pretty country. You know, I just had my jeans, boots, nice shirt, and I had this hat on, which is good. We did some boot scooting on the dance floor as well.
Don't break my heart.
Yeah. I think I asked because I asked
Brennan.
I said I was doing some boot scooting. He goes, boot scooting? What's that? What's boot scooting? He goes, you mean square dancing? I said, yeah, square dancing. That's what we were doing, which is pretty good. And then that sort of brings me to the grub that I'm choosing of the weekend. You know, there was a lady out there, and she I think she was a lesbian or something like that. We were sitting down, and
She likes the Berber.
and Barchie boy, the bushman, went to go get some drinks, right? And this lady just comes up, she just sits on his seat. So he comes up and he gives just a playful nudge, and she wanted to have a go. She had a fist
Is
up.
that right? She said, "You ready,
She
are
said,
you, mate?"
come here. And he thought, all right. No, you have that seat. You have that seat, darling.
Why did she want to sit there?
I
Or
don't
she
know.
just
There was
wanted
no
to
seats.
fight?
There was no seats. And she thought she might just plonk down, sit down, you know. Poor bugger lost the seat. And also there was another incident that he was waiting. This is when he came up to me. This is his grub. I'm calling out his grub of the week. And he was standing in line, and this couple came and pushed in. And he was fucked right off. He's like, "You kidding me?" But he let it go. He didn't want to start. You know, Bushman.
All right.
He wouldn't hurt a fly. This big fella. And yeah, just pushed right in, and they ordered a drink. And the female that was with him, she was pissed off. And the guy knew he had pushed in, and he looked up at Barchie, and he's like, "Sorry, man, sorry." And he offered to buy him a beer. Said to Barchie, "Here, take this beer. Take it. It's yours." And he said, "No, I don't want it." You just pushed in, and she wasn't happy with him. She wasn't happy with him that he wanted to buy him beer because he pushed in line. But, you know, that's what it is. You grub.
Grub of the week.
Yeah,
Well, we went out. Excuse me, as I said, we went out Saturday night to the casino bar there, and we caught the O-Bahn in from the plaza. And there was, the scooters in the city there.
Yeah, yeah.
So Reese and Debbie are on the scooter. They put $1 in the scooter, and they're fucking flying up King William Street, down Curry Street, where you get on the bus there. And this Irish dude walks up, and he's going, "I want the fucking scooter, mate. I want the fucking scooter." And he was a skinny he was drunk as a skunk, you know. He was fucking pie-eyed, you know. And David said, "Look, quietly, fuck off, mate. You know, the kids are on it.
Yep.
They put their own money into it. You keep walking." So he hung around for about 3 or 4 minutes, and, he eventually walked off.
Yeah. Good.
So he was still in sight, but he was down another bus. You know, you got a couple of bus stops here in Curry Street. And all of a sudden, this young bird walks past this Irish guy, and she was skinnier than him. So I don't know whether she was a homie and he was a homie in the city as well. I don't know what. Anyway, she starts fucking slagging off. She's
At
so
him.
we're all looking around now, thinking, "God, we got rid of one. Now we got this skinny little angry bird coming towards us." And I've got the Chileans, as guests
Trying
here
to show
in
him a
Adelaide.
good time.
And she goes off her fucking tree. She starts mouthing him. So all of a sudden, he's sort of got this fucking crab walk on the way back. He's running towards her. And then they're starting to get into fisticuffs, and then it goes onto the road. So it's a double lane on Grenfell Street there.
Right.
Grenfell, not Curry Street, Grenfell Street. Anyway, she flips him over in this manoeuvre, and this skinny little Irish dude gets, goes thrown
doing
over
a
by a
flip.
chick. And Mandy goes, I think she's got a knife. So then Dave starts to go off from the Sunshine Coast
no.
because he's into a bit
Yep.
of martial arts anyway. And I said, Dave, don't get involved. All you need's a cut, and then we spend the night in the hospital. It's not fucking worth what's going on.
That's right.
She didn't have a knife in the end. She was just punching the shit out of this Irish guy.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden he's got up and he's turned her over and her fucking bags, sprayed everything out on the road, and it was a fucking shit fest. And I thought, oh man, did we really have to see this shit? All the cars
It
stop,
always
and
happens.
then in the end, the Irish guy, there's some lady, just a normal pedestrian, she's shouting at him saying, move on, mate, you pisshead, whatever, and then this tradie, sort of stops his Toyota there with a tray top on the back. Then she ends up in the car with him.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, man, this is bad, isn't it? Like who's who and who's what, I assume they knew each other.
Yeah. So she wouldn't get in the car with someone she
I
wouldn't know.
really think the Irish guy was probably just a pissed up Irish dude that just wanted to go on the
on the scooter.
on the scooter to get closer to home, and this Irish bird, she's the grub of the week. She had a filthy mouth.
Yeah.
And
grub.
she certainly beat up the little skinny
You
Irish.
tough little grub.
So grub of the week, you're it, baby.
That's it.
For sure. I hope I don't
stuff.
see you again.
Yeah.
But
She was pretty good then if she had one on.
She flipped.
Maybe because he was pretty much legless.
He was shit-faced. And hard enough to understand at the best of times, being an Irish.
Yeah, we went on one of those scooters as well, just the two of us, me and Lisa.
They seem to shoot along pretty good.
It does go pretty good, and I think when you go too far out the city, you it just shuts off. It won't let you go too far.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So you can't, because I said to
You can't nick him.
Yeah, I said, let's just take this thing all the way home. No, there's no point catching an Uber, but nah, she stops just when you get out of the city.
You think how many would get out of the city as well?
Yeah, for sure. We start to have to push it ourselves, but nah, it's a good little thing, But you're not allowed to have two at a time now. You get fined. So watch out.
Well, this is the last podcast before we go away. I think we're going to run out of time next week to. We still got Friday night if we need to jam another one in if something comes along. But at this stage, I think we might have to have a little break for probably 6 weeks now.
That's it. Yeah.
So we should be able to bank up some really good
stories.
Good stories on the return.
If you do have any stories, record it onto your phone as an MP3, and then you can send it through email. Where can we send it?
You can send it to.
What's your email? Have you got your
to wgframemate@gmail.com.
Yeah.
wgframemate@gmail.com.
Okay, send that through. Send your stories. Send anything if you want. You want to send a joke? Send a joke.
Send anything in.
Anything.
We'll be happy to.
And we'll play it. You can be anonymous. That's fine. Or anything if you heard a quote or anything like that. If you had an experience with ghosts.
Paranormal.
Yeah.
Paranormal UFOs.
Send it
certainly get
through.
that up. So hopefully in Ireland I get to see a little bit of shit over there. And
It's a good thing to send it through a voice message because then you can record as many times as you want. Get the story right. Get your chat right. And then when you're happy with it, you just send it through.
When we were in New Zealand, we stayed at the Cardrona Hotel, and there was apparently a white widow that used to roll around there of the night time. So we did stay in a haunted pub. We never saw anything, but it'll come. Hopefully Ireland or, this whole place.
A few times I've seen some things at home that I've just sort of just think, nah, it's nothing. As soon as I walk out the room.
Tell us a story before we go about the fridge.
The fridge. All right. I had a mate, and this was a long time ago. This is when we were in primary school. And
where were we?
He was in Mansfield Park. And then he came to us. He said, fucking have a go at this story. So He's come in and he said that he was in his room, just chilling with his family, and one night he heard this loud bang. So he runs out and his fucking fridge is on the ground. What do you think about that? His fridge is on the ground.
That'd be some serious energy, ghost energy, wouldn't it?
I don't know what there is that.
How
that
the fuck can you
push
knock a fridge
a
over?
fridge over. Now, this was a long time ago.
Be old Kelvinator or something like that.
A nice white fridge, the old white fridge.
How do you knock it over? How do you get enough?
Yeah.
How do you explain it out anyway that it's gone over?
Yeah, everyone was in their room. Walked out the room and there was a fridge just on the floor.
Is it a full fridge, not a bar fridge?
Full fridge, no, just a full fridge
And
on
it's
the ground.
laying over on
Something pushed it over.
That's hard.
And they said, we got to get the fuck out of this house. And they did. Got out.
So
That house is still standing, I believe.
at Mansfield Park,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
might have been a
won't give too much
railway
away.
worker maybe.
I won't give too much away, but yeah, it's definitely something that we thought was a bit strange at the time, not thinking too much of it. But now, a whole fucking fridge. I mean, we've heard of cans moving or paper flickering or fire.
I remember
Flames going out.
years and years ago up in Lobethal area, I did a shower screen job up that way, and it was either winter or late in the evening, and I was still working away doing a job, and I remember feeling so uncomfortable in this house.
Usually, when you do feel uncomfortable, there's something there.
It's funny, like with Scotty's passing and that. I've got no bad feelings in here. It's lame, touch wood. And then when the old man wanted the tree cut down next door here, she said that I had ghosts in the house here, and because it used to be an old doctor's surgery here, and it's got a underground vent there as well, and all sorts of shit that's been closed off that we can't get into. But at this stage as well, it's pretty dormant everywhere. It's pretty calm. We need a.
Well, I've had some things
But
at
I'm
home,
not
like
looking
I was
for.
saying.
I'm not looking for it. Here
There's a
either.
lot of flickering of something down my hole. I always see a little, like a grey. It's not like it's not like a dark shadow. It's just something grey that just, as soon as you look over and it's like something's moving out of your vision, So that happens quite often, and I just play it off my eyes, just mucking
We used to
around
get it
with
here in the front door as well,
Yeah.
but we have got light and we've got trees coming through that light. You don't know whether it's a little bit of shadow movement or.
True.
But we always used to say there's kids running into our bedroom, and but there's nothing malevolent here. It seems to be nice and calm, and but who knows?
Well, find out.
We'll come across it in the future somewhere, won't we?
That's it. A tail and Ben.
Mental health.
Mental health, yep. Same thing. Look after your mate. And please make sure that everyone's okay around you and also yourself, So, yeah. Keep an eye on everyone.
Give your buddy a call.
Yep. Ring a mate.
Sounds good. Ardo Print, thanks, Clarence. You got some more shirts and some more hoodies for us to be picked up this week. We've also got SOS Safety Signs. Jace Wright, thanks for all your stickers, mate. We'll drop them off in the UK, and White Roo and the Mill Road Studios. Let's have a little bit of a 6-week break, and we'll see you on the return.
That's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys, to episode 4. Episode 4.
Number 4, matey. This has been a Mill Road Studios production. Thanks, Mr. Sonny. We'll have a fair bit of content to talk about in a few weeks, so I'm back around the 15th, around Bathurst of October, and we'll kick off again then.
That's it. Hope you have a good holiday.
Thank you, buddy. You look after that place for me, and I'll see you on the return.
Cheers.
Bye.